Right, Daniel, Warby, a kiss for your wife. Hurry!
Not over yet, lad.
I'd like to introduce the father of the bride, Michael.
Making the day such a success. So Linda and Chris, who've done a huge amount of work in the garden, and to everybody at St Thomas's, particularly Kelvin who married them. I haven't sort of planned this in the speech, and I haven't written it down, but there was just so much sincerity in that, and that service, which so many people have commented on. But special thanks to Kevin and Lorraine, who've made... I think I leave like a little bit of latitude for all the applause, you know. Okay. They've taken a huge amount of work off Helen and myself, and one of the many things that they've done is the wooden table, the circles that are on the tables. They've honed them. You're timing this. You're timing this.
You were told 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thanks for coming. It's a real pleasure to have so many friends older than you, and come to share with what's such a wonderful day. Now, father of the bride, I'm expected to make a speech, and that's what I'm going to do. But before I start, I want to say at the very beginning what a pleasure it is to start talking about Rosamond and her new husband. Sorry. Absolutely, yeah, the other thing I want to do is to reassure you that in this speech there are no jokes. Now, why are there no jokes when there's all these perennial jokes about fathers and brides? Well, classically, there's the one about spending all that money and then giving her away. Well, I've added up how much I've spent, and it's really not funny. And there's the other thing. There's the other one which starts off. The last thing I must do when I leave the house is to forget my speech, and the last thing I did when I left the house was to forget my speech. Well, that's kind of you. You know, well, frankly, at my age, forgetting a speech is the least of my problems. So here we go. Probably the only uninterrupted speech I would ever give in the presence of my two daughters. Dan, thanks for turning up. You can see why I haven't put any jokes in this. Dan, if my experience is anything to go by, you're going to have a great deal of fun. Two things stand out for me. When Rosamond was 8 or 9, we took the train and the dog to Newcastle, and then we went on to Hogtwistle, spending the next 5 days walking along Hadrian's Wall. And by the end, smoked salmon and scrambled eggs had become her default breakfast. So Dan, take note. Between school and university, a wall featured in another about trips. I asked her if she wanted a cup of tea. She said, yes, please. So we went to China to get one. And spent 7 weeks meandering through China and then Vietnam, visiting the wall, which is significantly longer than ours, and had a fabulous concert. And I don't think his love will alter as the alteration finds, which you'll both surely do as you grow and changed. He's focused, he's single-minded, and his single-mindedness can be a great drive, but make sure that he looks to left and right and doesn't allow this single-mindedness to become a prison in his thinking. The only character defect that I can find is that he buys a BMW and drives a Jazz. I wonder how that came about. Yeah. And Dan, what have you got? Well,
Not in.
short, yes. Right, so what have you got, Dan? Well, she's our daughter, and we're obviously very biased. She's resilient, determined, she achieves her goals, and you might have been one of them. She can find the positives in any situation. You know, Dan, I've only known you a few years, and it's not easy to give away, even metaphorically, one of the 3 most precious things I have. So we love her very much, so take care of her. Why do I talk about a home at this time of your lives when you've both got careers to consolidate and you are just about to start a new job? Well, at the end of the day, nobody ever says, I wish I'd spend more time at the office. It just doesn't happen. And it's going to come as no surprise to you that I want something more from you. I want you to build a holy set of tolerance and restraint. Where are you going to get all these? Absolutely. Well, I think you already have them. I think you got them from your mother. I mean, God knows you didn't get patience and tolerance from me. And I'm going to go off piste for a moment and talk about your mother. Now, Naomi, still listening? Yes, fine. Okay. Now, those of you who know Helen will be aware of her 3 core personality traits of perseverance, perseverance, and perseverance. I'm going to add 3 more: industry, ambition, and loyalty. And if you need any evidence of her industry, just look around at the environment she, with several other people, have created for this event. She is without question the hardest working person that I know. There may be others who equal this, but I've never known anybody work harder. She's also very good at delegating. She continues to work professionally and has worked for one particular charity for over 30 years. So much for her industry. What about ambition? She might be surprised to learn that I think she's one of the most ambitious people I've ever met. But this isn't ambition in the worldly sense. She's ambitious for her clients and for her family, helping them in every way to achieve the very best. And that is not without its costs. As for loyalty, that's in a class of its own. She even continues to laugh at my jokes, and some of them, I have to admit, are not always that funny. She's been an enormous support, and it would take the rest of the evening to tell you what she's done for me. But suffice it to say that what I've asked Rosamond to do for Dan, she has done for me. Helen for that, for all of that. And so much more. Thank you. And I'd be failing in my duty if I didn't appraise you of some of these. I thought about this a lot, so I made a list. It turned out to be quite a long list, so I made a précis of the list. And then I had to make a précis of the précis. But I really can't reduce it any more. So what I've done is make a little book of foibles, which, thank you, I advise you to study. Right. Can I hold that? Okay. So what do we have here? What do we have here? Right. Ah, yes. She's got a forthright way of speaking her mind. You might have come across that already. What else is there? Yeah. She's got somewhat imperious command men at home. However, I think this imperiousness is a trait you're stuck with, because it started at a very early age, and there was another time I remember when her sister was preparing
doing karaoke, so we'll wait till midnight and we might see another rendition of Backstreet Boys, but I've got a few words prepared. So firstly, Michael, thank you very much for your speech. It was very touching, albeit a little over 10 minutes. I promise I'll probably have mine wrapped up in about 10 or so, give or take about 30 seconds. So ladies and gents, first of all, it's so great to have you all here today. I appreciate a lot of you have made considerable effort to be here. So ever since we got engaged a little over a year ago now, I've been so excited to see you walk down the aisle today, and honestly, you absolutely took my breath away. So the amount of effort Roz has put into making today what it is has been truly unbelievable. I'd love to take equal credit for it, but a lot of you will be privy to the fact that this week George and I have spent a lot of time on the golf course while everyone else is here folding napkins. But Roz, all of this, nothing would have been possible without your vision and hard work, so thank you so much. Roz, as well as this, thank you for all of the support that you've given me, not just in my daily life, but also in my career. We know that, so obviously being with someone in the military makes things quite difficult to plan for the long term, but your support to me has been absolutely steadfast, unwavering throughout, and honestly there is no one I'd rather have beside me to achieve my dreams, and you thank you so much for making me feel so welcome to your family since day one. I think we've shared some amazing memories together over the last 3.5 years, which no doubt we're going to continue adding to through the course of our lives. Thank you also for all of the love and support you've given to Rosamond throughout her whole life. Without you, we wouldn't have the kind, beautiful and strong women that we have in front of us today. So thank you. It's so special to Rosamond and I as well that we've been able to have our reception here at Westmead. And we can't begin to thank you enough for all of your hard work and support in making this day so special. We couldn't have done it without you. So the hours between you spent up ladders. I know, Michael, you should be enjoying your retirement, but we talked about the nature of democracy in the Humphreys family. But Michael has spent a considerable number of hours up the top of a ladder, shifting tons of gravel. But Helen's hard work shouldn't be unrecognised as well. So throughout the last year, so what you see flower-wise in the garden, Helen and her team of gardeners, who I know Ross is going to thank after me, they've been wrapping flowers in blankets overnight, following like the most militant watering cycle in order to have the setting as perfect it is today. So sincerely to you both, thank you so much. And there she was, stood with my mother on a weekday in IKEA. So yeah. But Mum and Dad, again, more seriously, I appreciate that bringing me up has not always been the most straightforward experience, but it's been a great one nonetheless. And I like to think on the balance of things that I might have turned out all right. And I owe all of that to you guys. You've watched me play hockey in the freezing cold and pouring rain. You've helped me fold newspapers for my first paper round. You've done everything. You've given George and I 20 quid when we spent it all on beer so we could actually feed ourselves. But perhaps most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, they've been the most phenomenal mother and father-in-law to Rosamond. And if our marriage is half as good as these guys, we know we're going to have an exceptional lifetime. So, one of my final thank yous today is for our wedding party to mention. I don't think I'm going to possibly ask for a cooler sister-in-law. Really, to Kat, to Dom as well, thank you so much for welcoming me into Aidan and Eva's lives, who are an absolute gems. Aidan, you absolutely smashed it today with the rings. I'm so proud of you. But also some of my groomsmen, Matthew, my 6'7", ironically little brother, and JP, the bloke who broke my nose 10 years ago, and ironically now he stood beside me on my wedding day. Thank you for helping make everything today run so seamlessly, and everything in the lead up before. It's been truly unbelievable. Like the shift you put in has been, or when you've not been sidetracked by Helen's odd jobs here and there. Effective delegation I hear in my left ear. I was told to say that. But yeah, you've smashed it. Thanks so much. And George, I couldn't have asked for a better best man. George, you've smashed absolutely everything that Roz and I have asked of you out of the park. You with Naomi by your side, who I know is an absolute amazing asset to your life. So between the both of you, you've helped us organise almost every aspect of this wedding, including perhaps the most cultural, relaxing stag do to Munich. I would say it's memorable, but I don't have many of them from it. But George, over the last 9 years, you've been an amazing friend. I couldn't have asked for a better best mate and a best man today. We've bonded over years over microwavable vegetables, hundreds of games of FIFA, but most importantly, probably history lectures with Professor Olschmidt. And I told someone that I'd shoehorn that in, so there it is. But sincerely, George, or Webbo, as we know each other, sincerely, thanks for everything, and I'm sure later I'll be doing this. So that's my granddad, Gerald Warby, but also my nana, Jennifer Guthrie. I know how much today was meant to the both of them, and more importantly, I know how much they absolutely adored you, Ross. So to my nana and granddad, wherever you're both watching, you've probably got the best seats in the house, and I know wherever they are, they're probably raising a glass to us. So in return, I'd like to raise a toast, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, to absent loved ones.
So mine is actually one page. So I just wanted to say a few words, because when Dan and I got engaged, we thought that planning a wedding in my parents' back garden seemed like an easy, ready-made option. It is in fact something that presented quite unique challenges, not to mention many WhatsApp groups. We thought it would be simple and cost-effective, but like the rest of my life, according to my father, apparently not. I've often found myself thinking they should make a sitcom about this situation, but some of the mishaps we've had along the way, you couldn't make it up. We quickly realised it wasn't all Pinterest and Prosecco, but what we couldn't have predicted at the time was the amount of people around us that would come together and offer so much to make our day so personal and special. I don't think we'll ever really be able to say how grateful we are for everyone that has put so much into today, but I echo everything that Dan has already said. One of the muddiest jobs that cannot go without a mention fell to Linda and Chris. Wonderfully supported by Roger and Sylvie, who I know have played key parts in making all this happen. Not to mention Linda's cat, who has had to give up his favourite spot in the conservatory to seedlings for the last year. Chris and Linda, between them, have formed a horticultural dream team, with my mother proving that 30 green fingers really is the magic number. The jury is still out on whether they knew exactly what they were signing up for, but luckily they took it on with gusto. Chris is shaking her head. The dreams quickly evolved, and we realised that it wasn't just the outside garden that needed doing, we also needed a garden inside as well. This cottage garden you see in the marquee here today was so lovingly sown and tended throughout some quite testing weather over the last few months. The talent and time that you have both put in has been quite astounding. Our mother has always wanted to go to Chelsea Flower Show, and I feel we might just be there. My amazing mother has made all this happen, and we know she couldn't have done it without her exceptional squad around her. Your support over the years is something I know she has really cherished. Meanwhile, Dan and I have found the complexity of the last year has been a good test of our relationship. Especially when one of you is a bloody-minded logistician and the other one talks about feelings for a living. I cannot say how many times I have heard Dan say to my mother, "Helen, let's just crack on with it." Dan jumps in.
Putting thoughts and feelings into verse. We couldn't let this occasion pass without a chance to raise a glass. But first a quick glance back at life before Dan made gorgeous Ross his wife. As parents we hope we've passed the test of raising Dan to do his best. As a babe, a contented first, we were so proud, just fit to burst. He slept for hours and hours each night. For us that was a sheer delight. We'd parade him round whilst on a walk, old ladies wanting to stop and talk. Then something that was rather funny, they'd bend down to coo, then give him money. 3 years passed by, and then came Matt, but Dan was not too pleased with that. He peeked in at our brand new mister, then loudly said, "But where's my sister?" He soon accepted his new brother, in fact was keen to get another. Oh my God, I'm glad we stopped at 2. because as you see, they grew and grew. Since then, life's been not without its bumps, the ups and downs of teenage grumps. It was, however, at school age 9, that was for Dan a difficult time. The monkey bars are where he fell. He didn't come off very well. He was quickly rendered out of action, spending 6 long weeks in bed on traction. From hospital emerged a chap that sometimes we would want to slap. The placid lad we'd always known had developed a somewhat strong-willed tone. We had a spell of clashing heads, with Dan and I seeing shades of red. But looking back, we both avow it's what helped shape who he is now. He's made good friends along the way, with many of you here today. From college, sixth form, uni 2, then in the RAF, he's gained a few. It's great to see you all together. Friends like you, he'll keep forever. I'm sure you've got a tale or two to share amongst a trusted few. I suspect there's things that make me best kept quite secret, close to your chest. Drunken antics and boyhood pranks, protecting each other, closing ranks. That brings us to more recent years, where Dan's allayed most of our fears. Some parents say it's such a chore, they don't approve of their new in-law. For us there really is no such fretting, we're completely happy with who we're getting. If there was a list from which to pick, and there isn't one, Ros wouldn't tick. I feel at risk of becoming boring, don't want the sound of people snoring. Just a few more things to say before we get on with the day. There's 2 that sadly are not here, they're both important, held so dear. There's Nana, known to most as Jenny, and Grandad, Gerald, is known to many. We know they would have been delighted, Nana would have been so excited. I'm sure from somewhere they'll be looking down, admiring Dan's sword and Ros's stunning gown. Well, Helen and Michael, what can we say? There's simply no words to convey. Without your efforts, love and care, we would not have this grand affair. Life's lottery you've also had. Will Tick's choice of man please Mum and Dad? You've welcomed Dad with open arms. No doubt he's dazzled you with his charms. Well, son, today I think we are allowed to say again, you make us proud. We hope for you married life will be as happy as it's been for Dad and me. You're looking quite supremely smart. You absolutely look the part. Tall and handsome, straight and broad, in uniform, completely soared. I should say that last bit again, as we all know you're somewhat vain.
Call to mind was on the stag do. And so for context, if you can imagine in your mind the big German steins of beer, big old glass steins. If you can imagine then Dan drinking 5 of those within 1 hour. His stag do carrying on the party with Dan falling asleep underneath the table. He couldn't quite handle it. But the consequence of Dan falling asleep under the table was that the stags didn't get to play Mr. and Mrs. Quote. I'm still waiting for him to start playing the bill. Question 2. What did Ros say that you would hate, Dan, for your mates to find out about you? Which, interestingly, has now become the question, what would you hate for your job everything to help you out?
Let's go half an hour.
You can have a round of applause for that. And Ros, every so often in life you meet people who are just genuinely kind-hearted. People who inspire us to feel good about ourselves despite whatever's going on in our lives and the difficulties we may have. And Ros is one of those people, and it's been a great pleasure getting to know you and your wonderful family as well. And if there was an image to capture that sentiment, it's how you look today. So. And together, I couldn't imagine a better match. So for one last time, if we could all be upstanding. And then I feel to raise the glass.
Cheers, the man with the camera. Cheers! Cheers!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick one. We were going to have to see you.
I ain't gonna do you wrong. Why I gone? Cause I don't wanna. And all I want to be R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Take care of teeth and be when I get home, boy. And now I got tired. You're out of food. But just enjoy it. Eat to the lion. Oh God. In my head I paint a picture. I've come home and my heart is with me. And I miss your deep hair and the way you like to dance. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Hope you didn't accept your teen. I hope you found the right blade and fix it up for that man. Why you shopping anyway? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy?
I want to see everyone in this dance floor. Ready?
Anyone first?
Wait a second, wait a second. The second, if you open the box,
The box first.
I actually chose that. George.
Open the box. He says he knows what it is, so he doesn't want us
That's
to know.
not fair.
I've got no idea what this is turned out.
Get shit done.
Aww.
What an athletic boy.
Just in case celebrations.
Say goodbye, they're going now. You get a picture, you get a couple of pictures.
So lovely.